Hello everyone, I'm just checking in to say hello, and I assume that you can tell by the tone of my skin and the condition of my hair that I probably have not been in London the past couple of days, even though I do hear that it's been embraced by a major heat wave, and perhaps Londonites are looking a lot like me right now. But it so happens that I've been on holiday for almost 2 weeks now, and I've been out of town, and I had no idea what's happening back home. But here, where I am, that is Cyprus, things are utterly humid and hot and exciting and awfully sunny and windy. But honestly, that's not the reason why I'm reaching out to all of you. The thing is, I am being spontaneous right now, which is, to be completely candid with you, a kind of a normal state for me. But what I want to do right now is I want to address a question that I got from a dear former student of mine who also happens to be my subscriber. I still feel somewhat awkward using the Instagram/YouTube terminology, do forgive me, but the question that he asked had to do with languages, and with the English language to be more exact, and it had to do with the difference between Elton John's "What Have I Got to Do," which you might recognize is a line from his song "Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Word."
What have I gotta do to make you care?
So he goes, "What have I got to do?" Whereas Blue, the band named Blue, I believe, when covering his song, instead of "What have I got to do," went for "What do I gotta do?"
What I gotta do to make you care?
What do I gotta do? And the question is, what is the difference? And is there any difference at all, for that matter? So that's something I thought I would address today. I'm feeling very bloggy today. So then, is there any difference, or is there none? The truth is, the answer is yes and no, which is the kind of answer that you get a lot in languages if you think about it, because it all depends on what you look at and how you look at it. So I want us to look at two elements. Whenever you're looking at vocabulary or grammar, there's always two elements to be aware of for you to succeed in processing the new words and the new phrases and the new structures. That is meaning and form. So I first want us to take a look at the meaning behind "What have I got to do?" and "What do I got to do?" The meaning is essentially the same. Hate to disappoint you, but there it goes. It's one and the same meaning. There is no difference. So in both these cases, we're taken back to the modal verb have to. So what is it that I have to do for you to forgive me, for you to accept my apology? So we've got two formulations for one and the same modal verb, have to. So the way that meaning is realized in these two different forms, well, that takes us to the element of form, and that is the difference that you need to study carefully to be able to distinguish between the two. So the difference that we're looking at here is one of the most intriguing differences in languages imaginable. My all-time favorite, as a matter of fact, that is the phonetic and grammatical differences existing between English, that is the American kind of English, and the British English. So let us take a step back and forget about have to and focus on have instead. So have, which stands for own, possess, it's mine, I have it, is typical of Americans. So let me just stay American for a second and tell you what it is that I have. I have blonde hair. I have a pink-ish shirt. I have a black elastic here. Have a bottle of water. I always have that with me. Have sunglasses. Now, if I were to express the same thing in the British version, I most probably would say I've got sunglasses, I've got blonde hair, I've got a pinkish shirt, I've got no roots, Okay, it's a different song. Gonna get back to that later. I've got lots of things here. So we have I have versus I've got. I've got British, I have Americanish. Now, the truth is, a lot of Americans will kind of use have got, but without the have. So they'll say, I got blonde hair, and I got a pinkish shirt, and I got a black elastic hair, and I got glasses and everything. So there we have it. I have, which is American, to talk about possessions, things that you own. I've got, which is British, and then I got, which is super American, but it's derived from the British version, is it not? As you can probably tell, it's very much related to have, but it is nonetheless a modal verb. It's got a different function, different meaning, and a kind of a different form. So what is this parallel that I want you to see here? I have blonde hair. I've got blonde hair. I got blonde hair. Back to American. So when you want to talk about obligation, that is, you have to do something. There's this obligation, there's circumstances that push you to do it. In the British version, if it is an informal setting that you're talking to someone in, instead of saying, I have to go, you'll probably opt for, I've got to go. I've got to do this. I've got to leave. I've got to take this and put it over there. So I've got to, which is I have got and have to put together. Now, in America, what you're going to do is you're going to stick with got and get rid of have. So I got to go, which in turn is sort of squeezed together, and that gets us I gotta instead of I got to. I gotta go. I gotta stay. I gotta tell you something. I gotta leave. I gotta dash. So then lastly, we've got the positive forms put into the interrogative forms, the questions. So I've got to turns into have I got to, and I got to turns into do I got to. So we still need an auxiliary verb. We need a help verb to build a question. That's a must, okay? Song or no song, formal or informal. I do want you to keep your auxiliary verbs where they belong. So therefore, have I got to is the question form for I've got to. And do I got to is the question form for I got to, which is the very American form of I have to. Okay? So there we are. Both are correct, both are beautiful, both have the right to exist. So you just got to make up your mind, and go American.